Good morning, everyone. Welcome. My name is Menachem Creditor. It's my honor to serve as scholar in residence and rabbi of UJA Federation of New York. We bring you Torah and music, blessing, and community every weekday. We've been doing so since March 18th, 2020. Today is Tuesday, January 23rd, 2023. As we are counting the number of broadcasts that we have shared, 976 as of today. Thank you, Penny. We are also counting the number of days that we've been at war as a people, which is 109. And so, friends, it's good to see all of you here. It's especially good these days to see you here. It is a reminder of who we are, what we love, what we are committed to, which is life itself, and sharing it with passion, with compassion. And to see all of you here is incredibly important and beautiful. We, of course, every broadcast for the last 109 days is dedicated to our sisters and brothers in Israel and to the good work that UJA and many others are doing to hold our people strong. So let's see who's here. Linda and Fabrice, good to see you. That's Florida and France. It's a good start. Julie Ann and Debbie, good to see you. Sending love to New Jersey. Jacqueline and Valerie, sending love to Olympia, Washington. Hope you are well. Patricia and Lydia, Barbara and Amy, sending love to Florham Park, New Jersey. Fran, my friend, good to see you. Arlene and Andy, Deborah, sending love to the Bay Area. Cindy, hope you're well. Friends, it is really, really powerful to be together, and let's hold each other strong. Let's take a second to breathe before we say a bracha for learning. And then let's make sure we say that bracha, that blessing, with all of our strength, all of our hearts. May it reverberate within us and then through us to those in most dire need. Okay. It's good to see everyone. Here we go. Friends, it's good to see all of you. Deborah, sending you love and comfort upon your loss. Arlene, sending you comfort. Also, today would have been your mother's 100th birthday. May her memory be blessed, and glad to celebrate with you. Everything, friends, that is a piece of joy should be amplified. Today is a hard day for Am Yisrael, as the last 109 days have been. The news yesterday was just too much. If you haven't seen the news, and I hope that you have been paying attention, especially to Times of Israel, because responsible journalism in the fog of war is crucial, especially when it is, first of all, available, and second of all, so urgently needed when it comes to having responsible conversations um, as stakeholders in our future. So let's not miss the joy, the marriages, the babies born. I celebrate that my baby girl, who's now 21, is on her way tomorrow to study in Jerusalem for a semester. Today is Andy's grandson Jack's 11th birthday. And today is a day where Nancy says Hineni. All of these things, all of them should never be left behind, as we also must acknowledge, because it is part of our story, that just yesterday 21 soldiers, Israeli soldiers, were killed as a building collapsed in Gaza. Before that happened, there were reports of 3 soldiers who fell in battle, including a young man named Ayal Twito, Zichron Livracha, may his memory be blessed. And his mother was my children's 2nd grade teacher when we lived in California. It just tells you that there is barely one layer of separation. So let's not miss the smachot as we bless the memories of these little boys. I'm looking at their faces on my other screen. Beautiful faces. So we don't miss our joys, and we will deepen our joy and our commitment to life. I'm just touching the other screen, giving it a kiss. In your memories, what you fell for, we will fight for. Keep sharing, friends, the joy that you are going through, that you are sharing, that you are experiencing. This reminds me, it's an intense thing to share, and if you haven't seen Saving Private Ryan, I'm going to ruin the end right now, but it's been out for a very long time, and you should have seen it. It's still worth seeing. But the premise of it is that there's a family with a number of, an American family with a number of young boys, and let's say there are 3 boys, it might have been 4. If there are 3 boys, 2 of them fell in World War II. And so the Army sends a unit that's led by a captain who's played by Tom Hanks to go save Private Ryan, a boy named Ryan, who's the only surviving son of the family, and to bring him home so that, God forbid, the family wouldn't lose all of their children to war. And they do. They find him, and he wants to fight for his people. And as they're rescuing him, Tom Hanks, turns out he's this like incredibly intense captain, but he's a teacher, a high school teacher. He's just a human being. He's just a person. He gets shot. And as he lays dying, he says to the young man, Ryan, who's played by Matt Damon, 2 words that are echoing in my conscience as I look at these young boys and their faces. Tom Hanks's character looks at Matt Damon's character. The captain looks at the private and says, "Earn this." War is so ugly. It's so ugly. And our losses are too many. But we have to earn this. And part of the way we earn this is by being true to our values as a community and fighting for life. That's, after all, what they died fighting for the survival of Am Yisrael, so that we can be a source of light in the world. Things have never been simple for Jews. They've never been simple for anybody. But our mission, which became more possible with the founding of the State of Israel in 1948, it became more possible because of the creation of the Third Jewish Commonwealth, is to be a fulfillment of the promise God made to Abraham, which is of course based in land but not about land. V'nivrechu v'cha kol mishpachot ha'adama, and all the families on earth will be blessed through you. That is more possible when we are present and safe and sound so that we can be a blessing in the world. And so, when I look at these beautiful young boys who fell in battle for Am Yisrael, they didn't only fight so that we would live, though that is the definition of their sacrifice. They fought so that we would live purposefully and fiercely and never miss the joy of life. And I want to connect that to this week's Parsha. It's ragged. I'm ragged right now. We're all ragged right now, feeling the intensity of this. But I want to connect this moment of incredible loss to our commitment to incredible life. First of all, that's my job. That's what rabbis do. But that's not only what rabbis do, that's what human beings do. Because, as Paul Simon said, I don't know a soul who's not been shattered. I don't know anybody who feels at ease. We are called, all of us, to channel this grief and to hold each other with more love and to do more justice in this world. Yes, my fist is clenched like never before, but my heart is wide open. That's the work of today. So I want to share with you one pasuk, one verse from this week's Parsha, and suggest that it's been speaking to us all along. Exodus 13, verse 19. Vayikach Moshe. It's so hard. Vayikach Moshe et atzmot Yosef imo, ki hashpea hishpia et bnei Israel lemor. Pakod yifkod Elohim etchem, veha'alitem et atzmotai mizeh itchem. And Moses took with him the bones of Joseph, who had exacted an oath from the children of Israel, saying, God one day will be sure to take notice of you. Then you shall carry up my bones from here with you. Friends, hear this verse. 400 years earlier, Joseph made our family swear to take his bones with us when we eventually would be remembered and free. I want to read you a comment. If you listen to the Hebrew, the language is ki hashpea hishpia. Joseph doubled the oath. Hashpea hishpia, same word twice. And whenever there is a kefel lashon, a doubling of language, that is often a clue to Torah interpreters that something deeper is being said. So listen to Chizkuni, a medieval commentator. The repetition of the words, he made them swear, twice, was that Joseph did not know which generation would be freed. Joseph had told his brothers that by committing them to this oath, he was not asking them for a favor. They, who had been instrumental in his being dragged to Egypt as a slave, if they wanted to complete the act of repentance, must ensure that he would be brought to burial in the land of his forefathers from whence he had been kidnapped. So I want to say something about this. He obligated us. Joseph obligated us. Rachel crying on the way is one of the ways that we hear about this language throughout our history. We have a debt to pay. And that debt to our ancestors for everything they sacrificed, and often for the fate they suffered when we did not have self-determination at the core of our being as a Jewish people. Our obligation is to pay that debt by living fiercely and building a world more safe for our children, so that they could be v'nivrechu v'cha kol mishpachot adama. They could be sources of blessing moving forward. Carrying Joseph's bones with us is one way of fulfilling a promise, remembering that one day we would be free so that we could fulfill all of our promises. That's the mitzvah. And as Fran is reminding us, as she and I learned earlier this week, There's a miraculous story that the rabbis create with scant evidence in the biblical text of a woman whose name was Serach bat Asher. A woman named Serach, who is listed by name in the book of Genesis as having gone down to Egypt with Jacob when Joseph was just there for a short period of time. Serach is listed. And then upon the exodus from Egypt, which we're about to get to, actually we're reading this week, Serach bat Asher is listed again. How could she have lived for 400 years? First of all, when you live fiercely, you never die. These beautiful children who died in that building, they will never die. Not as long as we breathe. Not as long as we live. Not as long as we fight for the life of Am Yisrael. But Serach bat Asher, according to the rabbis, lived long enough to remind us how to fulfill a promise. You want to know who the prophets are of today? Sit with a Holocaust survivor like Rena Quint, who's giving a beautiful talk tomorrow, a webinar through UJA, and have her talk about the new survivors of Be'eri, Kfar Aza, Sderot, Ashkelon, Nir Oz. We have work to do, friends. We have a debt to pay. We must earn this. It's our turn. There's no question in the state of Israel right now that it is time for a second founding of the state. No question. We have been through so much as a people. Sometimes the psukim, the verses of our ancient texts, speak incredibly well to this moment. Listen again to the verse in Hebrew and English and let it in as an obligation we don't get to choose not to follow. Vaikach Moshe et atzmot Yosef imo, ki hashpea hishpia et bnei Yisrael lemor, bakod yifkod Elohim etchem, v'ha'alitem et atzmotai mizeh itchem. And Moses took with him the bones of Joseph, who had exacted an oath from the children of Israel, saying, God one day will be sure to take notice of you. Then you shall carry up my bones from here with you. One day, God will take notice. I don't know how to describe God's involvement in history, but I will say, friends, that many, including Rav Kook, including other beautiful, soulful teachers in Israel, and I mean the people Israel, have understood that the birth of Zionism, which was a political movement, was a spiritual, life-giving impulse, a spiritual revolution in the history of Judaism, to decide that if God is to act in our day on behalf of our family, it is going to be through the work of these hands. We carry the bones. We carry the promise. This is an oath that we are committed to, compelled to fulfill. Our ancestors bound us, and we are so lucky. We are so lucky to carry them within us, within your DNA and mine, within your spirit and mine. Shaky though we may be right now, we are also this strong. May we be blessed never to need to use this kind of might again anytime soon. But right now, we are called. Our sweet, gentle spirits and our beautiful children are fighting for our lives. Nothing less. So as we do this work, remember, we carry all of that in us. We carry the promise. We carry our loss. And we live fiercely. And through that, we never die. Am Yisrael Chai, friends. Am Yisrael Chai. We are alive. And we will live. It really is that simple. For all of this pain, look how alive we are. If you are sad, and I believe we are, you also are feeling love. So let's love. Let's live. Let's fight when we must, but let's love the whole time through. When we sing our song, Hatikva, remember that the language of it is so beautiful, so honest. Od lo avda tikvatenu. We refuse to give up hope. We do not give up on our children and our grandparents who are still in captivity. We will never give up. We don't give up on a beautiful future for them. We don't give up on a beautiful future for our people. We carry these bones. There are bones. We fight for life. This is our life. We love our children. We see them. They're fighting for us. What an incredible privilege it is to be a Jew. I bless every one of our friends and family who are not Jewish for standing with us, for understanding that our purpose in this world is not only the endurance of our tribe, but it's to be a blessing in this world. And in order to fulfill that, we must be in this world. So friends, say it with me again, all of us. Am Yisrael Chai. Let's sing Hatikva. If you've got one of these, hold on to it. Let's sing. Kol od baleva pnima nefesh Yehudi homia ulefatei mizrach kadima ayin letzion tzofia. Od lo avda tikvatenu hatikva bat shnot alpayim liot am chofshi be'artzenu eretz Zion v'Yerushalayim Liot am chofshi be'artzenu Eretz Zion v'Yerushalayim. Bring them home now. Am Yisrael Chai. See you tomorrow, friends. Take care.